Welcome to Abstract Audio, the podcast presenting life as an abstract art form. The show that encourages you to perceive beyond the tangible, to extract the infinite from the finite, to see with the mind what you cannot physically see with the eyes. Oh, it's an emancipation. It's an exploration into areas usually overlooked. Explore with me on today's episode. Hey, what's good, pod family? You know where you are. I'm sure I don't have to tell you by now, but this is Abstract Audio, the podcast. I am Amber Janae, and if you came back for more, you know we're not just here to follow the script of everyday life. No, we're here to rewrite it, one abstract idea at a time. So let's see where today's journey is going to take us, shall we? So if you've been with us, through last week's episode on ownership, you already know that we went really deep, really deep into what it means to own something, amongst other things. And we weren't just talking about houses and cars, but the idea of owning your space, your relationships, even how the concept of ownership can get twisted into something that we don't even really need. But today, we're taking that thread and weaving it into something brand new, something we all grapple with in our short time on this earth: success and talent. I mean, think about it. If you own your talent, does that mean you're automatically destined for success? Or is success just another thing we think we need to own, even if the whole system is rigged? I mean, can you ever really own success? Can you really have it? Or does it own you? And hell, what about talent? Is it a gift, a burden, maybe a little bit of both? Well, today we're breaking down the myths, the hype, the reality of what success and talent actually means in today's world. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, so talent and success. Big stuff, right? I mean, they're two words we've all heard 1,000 times, thrown around like confetti at a parade, all shiny and exciting, promising, always landing on someone else's shoulders while we're kind of left wondering when our turn is, right? When's our party? Well, we live in a world that just loves to praise the self-made and worship the naturally gifted. But the more I think about it, the more I wonder, what's the catch, bro? Like, what's the catch? We idolize people who seem to have all these things, like they've cracked some secret code in life, while the rest of us are just trying to figure out how to fold fitted sheets. It's impossible, by the way. We see success as this shiny trophy that everybody's supposed to chase, like it's out there waiting for us on some pedestal. But what if that pedestal is just a mirage, right? And what does talent have to do with it anyway? Is it like a free pass to the front of the line? Or is it more of a burden on people? I mean, think about it. As a naturally talented person myself, I think about it a lot. Is someone born with talent obligated to share it with the world? Does having a gift automatically mean you need to use it to better the reality of those around you, or turn it into some form of success that society can measure? What if being naturally talented in one thing steers you completely away from what you were actually meant to do? And how can you tell the difference? Well, I guess we can start with that age-old myth of natural talent. I mean, some people believe if you're blessed with a gift, whether it's music, art, writing, whatever, you do have a certain obligation to the world. Like, if you got the juice, the sauce, the recipe, whatever, you've got to share it. But here's the thing. What if the thing you're good at isn't even what brings you joy? What then? There's always this pressure on people with talent to act on it, to capitalize on it even. Oh, you're wasting your potential, they say, Oh, you could be huge. You could be this, you could be that. But maybe that person has a different path. Maybe they're good at one thing, but passionate about something else entirely. In those kinds of cases, can talent become a distraction? I think it can, mainly because talent can box you in, make you feel like you've got no other choice but to follow that one road. Even if deep down, you don't want to walk it. Your feet are tired, your dogs are barking, you don't want to walk it. But what if the kid who's the piano prodigy at 6 wants to be a scientist? Or the dude with the natural gift for sports and football feels more alive designing video games? Does talent automatically equal purpose? Hell no. That's why so many people are lost out here today, and that's the thing we never ask. Because society just wants you to be useful to the collective at the end of the day. The overall good, as we've talked about before. You ever notice how many Black women go into the field of healthcare? I guess you could say women in general, of course, but Black women specifically. Like, sure, we're natural nurturers and we're good at it. But damn, they make it seem like we belong there. Like we some mammies, like that's one of the only paths for us. And we've kind of internalized it too. Then there's the whole concept of success itself. Like, what does success even mean anymore? Is it about wealth, fame, power? Of course, that's more a hypothetical question because it is something so personal, but regardless of what it is, why do we measure success by such limited standards, right? Hey, here's a wild thought. Maybe success is just a big cultural and social construct. Like, think about it. We're taught from day one that success is this very specific thing, right? Oh, get the job, get the girl, get the certain amount of money, get the house, and boom, you're successful. But is that really success? Or is it just a way to keep us all striving for some increasingly unattainable goal, like hamsters on a wheel? And success doesn't even look the same for everyone. Thank God. What motivates us varies, of course. Not much. But it's not all bad. Like, some people find success in their relationship, or in their peace of mind, in their freedom to live life on their own terms. But society damn sure tends to ignore those definitions in favor of those that are more marketable. And let's not forget too that society tends to almost pre-assign success to people who are already privileged. We see it every day. It's not always about hard work or talent. Sometimes it's just about who you know or what advantages you're born into. And speaking of advantages, let's talk about something that's been on my mind ever since I discovered Kanye West. The idea of genius. I'm from Chicago, so a society loves to put people on a pedestal and call them geniuses based on traditional schooling and IQ tests. They laughed at Kanye when he called himself one, but who decided IQ was the end-all be-all of intelligence anyway? Just because someone scores high on a test or is good in school doesn't mean that they have the kind of brilliance that actually changes the world. You look at people on the autistic spectrum, for example. They say most of us are. But some of the most brilliant minds we've ever seen were on the spectrum. And they think in ways that don't always align with the traditional measures of intelligence. So are we saying that IQ or any standardized measure is the only way to judge true talent or genius? That a school talent show is going to catch all the future Kanyes? No, that's nonsense. People can be brilliant in ways we don't even know how to measure yet, and talented in ways we can't even comprehend. But what can I say? Society loves a number, doesn't it? Something to quantify, categorize, or put in that box. It's neat, it's tiny, it's profitable, and it's also bullshit. It's ridiculous. I mean, you ever think about how the pressure to be successful can actually kill creativity? Like, the second you start chasing success, whatever that means, you lose the joy in the thing that made you talented in the first place. Like, what's up with that? You go from doing it for the love, for the passion, to doing it for the clout, the money, the approval of others. It's like artists who start off painting for themselves, but then get sucked into creating for a market. They stop making what they love and they start making what sells. And suddenly their talent becomes just another commodity. And their passion, poof, gone. Just like that. That is so messed up. I mean, is that really success? I'd be quick to argue it's the exact opposite. It's like you're selling your soul piece by piece, all for the chance to be recognized. And for what? But we all want it, right? Now, when it comes to success, the Black community, to me, faces a whole different kind of pressure, right? I mean, it's like we're told that in order to make it, we have to work twice as hard, be twice as good, and still might not get the recognition or the opportunities we deserve. I mean, we've all heard it as people of color in the Black community anyways. And as a Black creative, I know all too well that this pressure can shape our entire relationship with success and talent. For some people, the idea of owning your talent, taking it back to last week, becomes more about survival than fulfillment. It's about proving yourself in a world that's built to underestimate you. Do you know how that feels? And yeah, there's pride in that. Everybody loves an underdog story, right? But it's also so exhausting. And you're constantly grinding, just to be seen and recognized. Success kind of starts to feel like this never-ending hustle. I mean, hustle is a huge part of the culture, the Black culture anyway. It's hustle culture, it's hustle mentality, money mindset. I don't know about you, but I don't want to hustle all my damn life. But I also don't want success if it has to be traditional. We talk about ownership a lot, all last episode, and in our day-to-day lives, it's the supposed epitome of success. But like we said last episode, is that ownership really empowering? Something worth basing your entire existence striving toward? Or is it just another way we're forced to prove our worth on this plane? And hey, let's tackle an even bigger question while we're here, right? Is it easier or harder to be successful in today's world? That's a good one. Because on one hand, you've got all these platforms, these tools, these resources at your fingertips, at your literal disposal. You can start a business from your phone, go viral on social media in a day, make a living doing just about anything. So in theory, it's easier than ever to get your talent out there, sure. But with all that opportunity comes insane competition. Everyone's got access to the same platforms, and the noise is just louder than ever. So yeah, you can make it, sure, but you've got to cut through a whole lot of static first. Plus, with the constant pressure of social media, where everybody's putting their best life on display, the definition of success gets even murkier, right? Because are you really successful, or are you just good at curating an image? I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I guess success, like talent and so many other things we talk about here, it's subjective. It's whatever you make it, and it's up to you to define it for yourself. And if you can't do that, well, there's always hard drugs. But until next time, guys, I'm your host, Amber Janae. This has been another episode of Abstract Audio. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Be super extra sure to follow us on YouTube and check us out on social so you never miss a beat. Stay curious, guys. Stay questioning. And most of all, always appreciate the abstract in your life.